Hello and welcome back to Premier League Predictions, the show which does what it says on the tin. We're here for Game Week 32 of the 23-24 Premier League season, predicting another 10 fixtures in this campaign. It's been a good season so far, hasn't it, Harry?
Yeah, definitely so. Not long to go now. The title race is heating up. The relegation scrap's getting even closer. The European places are still up for grabs. So a big last few game weeks ahead of us.
And Fulham are there as well. So let's start with the early morning kickoff on the Saturday. We'll start in chronological order, of course. And first up, it's Crystal Palace versus Manchester City. Crystal Palace have had, well, a much better time of it since Ollie Glasner's came in, though they've still not been able to win with much consistency. And they welcome here a Man City side who look ruthless at the moment. Last time out, they won 4-1 without having Erling Haaland. Now, admittedly, Aston Villa played a very weakened side, and Emery seemed to admit defeat from minute one, but City was still incredible in that game. More specifically, Phil Foden was incredible in that game. Can he keep up his good form, and can City claim another useful win on the road?
Yeah, as you say, City look top quality, and they look like a team that know they need to start winning and need to start building some title form, and I think they will do that here. Palace, as you say, have been okay, but I don't think they'll have enough to stop the champions. It'll be a 2-0 City win, with goals from Foden and Alvarez.
Oh, so everyone that's captained Haaland in the mud. I will say a 3-0 victory for Man City, slightly more comprehensive, and I do think Erling Haaland will bag a brace, and I've got to back Phil Foden. He's just looked incredible recently, and quite rightfully, he's finally getting his flowers. I feel like Foden, despite playing for Man City, despite being an England star, he's always been slightly underrated by the general public. This season, though, really getting the plaudits he deserves. Up next then, let's get into the 3 o'clock kickoffs. The first of which is Aston Villa versus Brentford. Now, as we said, Aston Villa a difficult midweek fixture, but we should see the return of some of their key players. You'd like to think Ollie Watkins will be back for this weekend, so that could be crucial for them to face his former side Brentford. As for Brentford, well, Ivan Toney hobbled off in the warm-up for Brentford. Then he seemed to return, so I'm not really sure what happened there with him, but he should be fit to play here. Could come down to who can score the most out of those two. Aston Villa have had a stronger season, but Brentford always seem to turn up in games like these. So how do you see it panning out?
Yeah, Villa really need a good performance. They need to bounce back from that drubbing by City in the midweek. And I don't think they will. I'm going to go for a draw. I think it's been a frustrating game. I think Aston Villa will take the lead through Moussa Diaby. I'm going for a 1-1 draw, by the way. Okay. I think Diaby will give Villa the lead, but Brentford will level late on through an Ivan Toney penalty.
Yeah, a few people have been questioning whether Aston Villa will actually qualify for the Champions League. They've been a little bit patchy recently. I think they're fairly nailed, given United are 6th at the moment, and the less said about them, the better. I think they will win here, though, and really solidify their place in the top 4, given Tottenham's patchy form, and it'll be an Aston Villa 2-0 victory with goals from Ollie Watkins and John McGinn. John McGinn, quietly good season. I'm wanting to get another. I feel like every time John McGinn scores, it's either like a tap-in or a screamer.
Yeah.
I'm going screamer here. Got to back it. Up next, Everton versus Burnley. Two sides embroiled in the relegation battle. Burnley, well, they've not been great recently. They picked up a very crucial point against Chelsea last weekend. They'll be quite glad for that. My brain can't remember how they got on in the midweek. Any ideas?
Brun Larson scored.
I remember that happening. Who did they play? Can't remember.
Bournemouth.
Oh.
No, because Brun Larson scored.
No idea then. Apologies, but...
Fulham.
No, that's Forest. They won 3-1. I don't know if Burnley played this midweek, but whoever they played, they probably didn't win. So... we'll see how they go on against Everton. Again, Everton very good defensively. They're a very good side. Should I set them up well? Will they get a win here?
Yes, Burnley aren't great at football. I don't know how they do to Chelsea. They have no manager and 10 men, but that's what Chelsea do. We're brilliant. Everton really need some points. But I do feel if they can pick up another couple of wins, they're safe, and then it'll be between Forest and Luton, between who goes down that 18th spot. No offence to Burnley, they're relegated, and so Sheffield United. Everton, I'll go for a solo goal here, a 1-0 win, and it will come through Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He scored in the midweek. He's going to score again. Yeah,
I feel like a lot of those Tuesday fixtures in the midweek sort of blurred into one. I don't remember anything happening. Obviously, Everton lost to Newcastle, but Newcastle looked really good recently. So that's understandable. I think they'll bounce. Was it a draw?
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin last minute penalty. Okay. I think Everton will keep up that good form there. And I will say an Everton 2-0 victory. And it'll be goals from Amadou Onana and James Tarkowski from a corner, because I feel like that's what I predict every week. But Everton do like scoring corners.
They do.
Up next, Fulham versus Newcastle. Again, two sides who had difficult results in the week. Fulham, a 3-1 loss to Nottingham Forest is never what you want to see, and they sort of collapsed in that game. They made a triple change after 30 minutes. They'll be hoping for a much improved performance here. As for Newcastle, well, they really should have seen a game like that game against Everton out, but they couldn't. Is that indicative at the moment of their inability really to finish off games? Equally, last weekend they were very good against West Ham, so if they can bring up that performance level, they should batter Fulham here. But what do you see happening, Harry?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's going to be a really difficult game to... I'm glad that we can't watch it in the UK, to be honest, because this is a Fulham side who looked really messy in the midweek, and a Newcastle side who have looked all over the shop for the last few weeks. I honestly can't call this game. Anything can happen, but I'm going to go for Newcastle just because I've got Alex Isak. I will go for a 2-1 win for the Toon. I think Fulham will take the lead, however, through Rodrigo Muniz. He has been on fire. He's scored the most goals out of anyone in the Premier League in 2024. But Newcastle will bounce back with a goal from Alex Isak and a goal from Dan Burn. Header, corner, bang. 2-1 to the Toon and a big 3 points.
Yeah, I'm going to back a similar result. I'm going to go Fulham 2, Newcastle 2. So a point each. I think both sides have been quite good at scoring goals. Neither, though, have kept many out recently. Yeah. And, well, Newcastle, Dubravka really should have saved Calvert-Lewin's penalty. But, you know, I think they're a bit fortunate as well against West Ham. They had 3 goals in that game. Managed to win with a fortunate penalty and then just momentum carried into that game. I don't know. I feel like this will be a draw. I'm going to go Muniz 2 and Isak 2. So a brace for each of the 2 informed strikers and a lot of points for my fantasy Premier League team. Up next, it is a game that could define Luton Town's season. They welcome Bournemouth to Kenilworth Road earlier this month, earlier in this year. I'm trying to remember whether it's February or March. I feel like it was February where they faced Bournemouth. They went 3-0 and ended up losing that game 4-3. For Luton Town, this is opposition they know they can beat, and with them needing at least 12 points to try and stay in the Premier League, perhaps even more, they've got to start winning soon. Bournemouth's a winnable game. Can Luton beat them, though? Luton have been brilliant, haven't they?
Yeah, Luton at home look really, really strong. But as you say, Bournemouth have picked up the most points out of any other Premier League team in 2024.
You've got all the stats for us today, haven't you?
I know. They've been absolutely brilliant this season. But this was as of before the midweek, so they might have shifted a little bit.
Well, they won in the midweek, so
they've got more points. They have, definitely. But this is a really informed team in Bournemouth versus a Luton side who looks so strong at home. That, for me, gives you a 1-1 draw where Luton will take the lead, as they usually do. Very early on, Colton Morris header. They'll hold on. They'll defend like their life depend on it. And then I'll go for a Dominic Solanke penalty with about 20 minutes to go.
Rip their hearts out and
crush
their spirit. I feel like even if that was to happen, there's another goal in that game. For 20 minutes to go there, I feel like there'd be a Luton winner or a Bournemouth winner to really crush Luton. I think this game's going to have a decisive winner, and I think it's going to be Luton Town. I'll say Luton 2, Bournemouth 0. Just feel like Luton's desire and strive to get something here may just outweigh Bournemouth's quality, because while Bournemouth are a very, very good side, they're not unbeatable. They're not unstoppable, and I think Luton Town will stop them and will beat them here. So I'll say 2-0 with goals from Tahith Chong, if he's back fit, and I'll say an Alfie Doughty cross onto the head of Carlton Morris for a 2-0 Luton Town victory. Up next, then, it's the final 3 o'clock kickoff. It feels like it's been a bumper 3 o'clock kickoff specials because we've got Europe coming up. So there's no Mondays, no Friday night football because we had a midweek fixtures. So everything condensed into 2 days. So a lot of 3 o'clock kickoffs. And this game is Wolves versus West Ham. I feel like there's a lot of unknown here because West Ham obviously secured a really good win looked really good against Newcastle. Ended up losing that game last weekend. And they've been fairly patchy throughout this season, actually. Really good going forwards, a little bit all over the place at the back. Areola's out injured now as well, so Fabianski coming back into the side isn't the strongest. I don't know. They played Brighton, didn't they?
Yeah, they drew to Tottenham 1-1.
Oh, Tottenham, that was it. So, yeah. That is a big point. I feel like West Ham are quite a decent team. But Wolves have also turned up on their day. I mean, they look quite good. Ryan Ait-Nouri scored in the midweek. I feel like if he keep up his good form, flying down the left-hand side...
That's who Burnley played.
Wolves. Did they lose that?
Draw? Was it a draw?
Surely not. Might have been.
But that's who they played. It was Burnley Wolves. Anyway, carry on.
Thank you. We've finally worked out who Burnley played. But so I feel like this game really could go either way. How do you see it going?
Yeah, I think West Ham have played really well in their last 2 games. I think are pretty... I don't usually say that West Ham, but I think they're unfortunate to only come away with a point from Newcastle and Tottenham. Wolves just lack anything going forward due to their injuries.
Well, Cunha should be back. So that is something to think about, isn't it?
I just don't know, a bit rusty. They lack that cutting edge. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Hammers win with a goal from Jarrod Bowen and a goal coming from Mohamed Kudus.
Really struggling for that second goal there. Bowen has been incredible this season, though. 28 goals and assists to his name, and not a single one of them is a penalty, which is incredible statistics. We big up the likes of Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, Jude Bellingham, our English talents all on 30 goals assists. Then you've got Saka 29. Then it's Bowen. And no one's really talking about Jarrod Bowen this season because he's sort of settled into that. Like, I remember when Salah and Kane would do it, they'd score a ridiculous amount of goals and no one would really pay any attention because they're Salah and Kane. That's what you expect from them. Bowen seems to be in that bracket now. And because he's not a young player, he's 27, but he's also not an old player. Yeah. He's sort of in that weird middle bracket where he's performing really well. No one's really taking much notice. But, cats off to him. I think he'll keep going here. I'm going to say West Ham 3, Wolves 2. But that game's got a cracker prepared for us. I'll say a Jarrod Bowen brace and a goal from James Ward-Prowse, because I finally took him out of my FPL team, so he's obviously going to score. Yeah. And then Wolves with 2 goals, and I think they will come courtesy of Matthias Cunha if he is back in the starting 11. Yeah. And then I will say Mario Lemina if he's back. I'm not sure. If not, I'll go Jean-Rickner Bellegarde, who might also be injured, in which case I'm going to give a third suggestion of Ryan Aitner, because I know he's definitely fit. So there you go. You got loads of options there as well, goal scorers. I can never keep track of who's injured and who isn't. Up next, it's the 5:30 kickoff and a huge game in the fight for the Premier League title. It's Brighton versus Arsenal. Brighton have probably been the biggest letdowns of this season. Following qualification to the Europa League last year, a lot of people thought they'd be the ones to push up into the Champions League spots. However, that hasn't really transpired. Obviously, Villa have done really well this year. Tottenham have really found form, and United have got very lucky. But Brighton found themselves just on the fringe of the top 10. Well, inside the top 10, so not really on the fringes, but they're there. They're still in contention for Europe, but it seems like it won't happen now. Yeah. A really tough game here against Arsenal, but they do tend to set up well against these kind of sides. We haven't seen the result yet against Liverpool, so if they... Oh, no, sorry, they played Liverpool last weekend. That was a loss, obviously, but Liverpool very good, so that's understandable. So how do you see them getting on here? Can they claim a victory, or are Arsenal simply too strong?
Yeah, I think Arsenal will have enough. They looked decent against Luton Town. They took their time, but they eventually got the goal, and then they got another one.
Worst second half of football ever, though.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing happened.
But, yeah, I think Arsenal have enough. Brighton, as you say, been very hit and miss, not been what we expected, and it was a disappointing 2-0 loss to the Gunners. I will go for a Saka goal, because I think he will play this game. My best guess is that Arteta will give him a little rest on Wednesday. And then the second goal, it will come courtesy of... let's go for someone random. Is Eddie Nketiah? Yes, Eddie Nketiah.
He is still existing, yeah. When you said 2-0 for the Gunners or something like that, I thought you said... I didn't really understand what you were saying. I thought you meant Brighton were winning. But I feel like Brighton will rest up a lot here because, I mean, it's Arsenal. They're going to predict to lose anyway. Arsenal might rest up because they've got Champions League coming on Wednesday. Obviously, they play Bayern Munich. But I still feel like a rotated Arsenal side will have enough to get over the line here. So I'll say 3-0 Arsenal. And in case Saka doesn't play, I'll play it safe with a goal from Martinelli, a goal from Havertz, and a goal from Gabriel from a corner, big bullet header at the back post. And a 3-0 win for an Arsenal side who've looked very decent recently. Very, very good all season, actually. On to the Sunday then. We've got 3 fixtures all at really weird times. The traditional 2:30, 4:30 has been completely ignored because they've moved Manchester United Liverpool forwards an hour. So we've got that first. That means the traditional 2 o'clock kickoffs will move to 5:30. Sheffield United versus Chelsea. And we've also got the Monday night moved to Sunday due to rail strikes in London. So Tottenham, Nottingham Forest as well. Well, let's start with the game we're live for. Manchester United versus Liverpool will be live from 3:15 for the 3:30 kickoff. You excited for it, Harry?
Very much so. This game has thrown up some absolute crackers across the year. Obviously, Liverpool put 7 past United last season. The FA Cup quarter-final this year was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. And, what a game that was, going dead to extra time and then Diallo scoring. We've seen a lot of red cards as well. So Diallo did get sent off in that FA Cup final. Diallo got sent off early in the season. It's going to be a really good game. Should be. Yeah, they've moved it forward because there might be crowd trouble due to the fact it's a rivalry, or there might be loads of United fans having to leave the stadium all at once because they're losing 8-0. So good job they have put those measures in place. United have been very lucky this season. All the underlying stats point towards them being a side that shouldn't even be in the top 10. Yet at the moment, they're competing for Europe. And if they could find the sort of level that they found against Liverpool, play like they did in that game,
maybe they could get something from it. Yeah, they may have played well against Chelsea or scammed another win out of a side that played better than them. We don't know. But United have been very fortunate this season. But they could, again, get quite lucky. As for Liverpool, they've been very good this season. Again, they've been a little bit, overperformed a little bit. But still, they've been a very good team. And well, stats don't lie, they should batter United here. So let's see what happens. Harry, what is your prediction? Oh, we don't do predictions for games with Live. We'll see you Sunday. Predict it there. So join us there. Let's get into the 5:30 game then. Sheffield United versus Chelsea. Sheffield United are bottom of the league and terrible, so they should win this game. Chelsea love giving points away to teams that aren't very good at football. So if there's anything like it was a few years ago, I feel like I can distinctly remember.
Ollie McBurney double.
Yeah, Ollie McBurney. Yeah, I was pitching Callum Robinson, but I think that was when he was at West Brom. So don't worry, there's always a good chance the bottom place side will beat Chelsea. So there's a good chance Sheffield United get something here. Not that there's really much point for them now, because I feel like they're down 100%. I know it's not mathematically impossible, but it is impossible. As for Chelsea, they need to start winning games. They are close to those European spots. We haven't seen how they got on against United, but let's say that was a win. Please. Yeah. They're coming to the Sheffield United game then with hope that they can win something. Obviously, Burnley, that draw last weekend was depressing, but Sheffield United is definitely winnable. Will they do it?
I think it's going to be tough.
It's going to be really tough.
No, Chelsea should have enough. It needs to be a big win because last weekend at Burnley, 10 men, manager sent off, draw 2-2 to 19th in the league. Appalling. Yeah. United, knowing Chelsea, is probably a stupid 2-1 loss. And Garn actually probably scored and I'm going to want to hurt him. For Chelsea, they need a win today. I think they will get one on this Sunday. A 2-0 win for the Blues, a Cole Palmer goal and a Nick Jackson goal. Chelsea should see this game through.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to give a bold prediction. Not a bold prediction, but quite a strong prediction. And then I'm going to look like a mug if we lose. But I will say Chelsea 4, Sheffield United 0. We should have no issues putting a good number of goals past the Sheffield United team. So I will say 4-0. I'll go for a Cole Palmer brace. I'll say a Nicholas Jackson goal because he's got blue in his hair now. So blue is the colour. Jackson is the name. Scoring is his game, hopefully. And then a fourth goal coming courtesy of whom? I'll say Mudryk, because he's actually played really well recently, Mihailo Mudryk, but he'll probably be benched for Sterling so we can watch him run into the corner for 90 minutes. That'll be fun. On to the final game of the game week then. Of course, the Monday game rearranged to Sunday night. It's Tottenham versus Nottingham Forest. Tottenham have been fairly patchy recently, and I think a few people starting to question Ange Postecoglou, perhaps forgetting actually that he has come into a season without Harry Kane and they've not really replaced him and stuff like that. There's loads of mitigating circumstances. They do find themselves still in 5th in the Premier League. That would give them Champions League football, which could be crucial given they posted losses of 90 million in the last calendar year. They could definitely do with recouping some of that money for European action, and Champions League football gives you the most, of course. They play Nottingham Forest, who are still embroiled in that relegation fight despite their 3-0 victory in a 3-1 victory over Fulham in the week. They'll be hoping they can get something away at Tottenham here, who have been somewhat charitable in how they're giving away points recently. So, Harry, how do you see it panning out?
It's one of those games that shouldn't be on a Sunday, but obviously it has to be. It's a weird kick-off time. People will be having their roast. No one's going to watch it. It'll be a terrible game of football, and it'll be a 1-0 Tottenham win with a Son penalty. Everyone will watch.
Probably in the 98th minute when everyone's turned it off to tune to the Serie A or something like that.
People will watch the Man United Liverpool game, then go have their dinner, forget that the game's even on, and then they'll go, oh, look, Tottenham won. Yeah,
they'll check on Monday morning, but they go, hang on, I've got loads of FPL points now, and it says that Son scored a hat-trick or something. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. I am going to say, though, I think it'll be a bit more memorable. I'll say 3-0 Tottenham. I think the fans that have made the trip down from Nottingham will be sorely disappointed, as I think it'll be 3 goals in the first 20 minutes and then nothing for the rest of the game.
Ouch.
I will say a Son goal, an Yves Bissouma goal for just random goal's sake, and I will go for Destiny Udogie because he's been very good this season. Hasn't got a whole lot of goals, so another goal might just inflate his stats, make him look even better than he is. So yeah, very good, interesting game week this should be. Make sure to join us live for Manchester United versus Liverpool on Sunday. We're very excited for it. Hopefully you guys are as well. But that's everything from us today. If you want to keep watching our content, there's going to be a video on screen now where we talk all things Championship, mainly the title race. That video's done very, very well for us. So if you haven't watched it already, make sure to do so because people seem to be enjoying it. So if they are, you will as well. So give that a click and go watch more of our content. But that's everything from us today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.